Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I hope I don't sound terrible. I am just a tiny bit sick still, and I'm kind of getting over it, but this video needed to get filmed and needed to get edited, so here we are. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Today's video is just another Project Pan update. I am super excited about this one. I feel like I finished a lot of products and I'm just super excited to show you guys my progress and roll in some new products. So if you like these types of videos, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Vivian. I'm a robotics engineer with a love for all things beauty and makeup related, and I love trying new makeup, but I always want to make sure that I am being a conscious consumer, really doing my research, trying not to overconsume. And part of the way I do that is through my Project Pan series, and I hope you guys stick around. With that being said, let's just hop into it. As always with my Project Pan series, I like to go from least amount of visible progress to most amount of visible progress. The first thing I'm going to talk about is my Tower 28 concealer. This has been in my Project Pan for so long now, since January of this year, and it's July, and it's still going so strong. There's still so much product left in here, and I don't know when I'm actually going to be able to use it up, but every time I pull out the concealer wand, there is still so much product. So I'm going to keep going with it. In June, I used this 14 times, and I probably average around 13 to 14 times per month since putting this in my Project Pan, but there's still so much time to go with this. I love this concealer, so I'm not mad about it. I do kind of wish I was making more visible progress with it. The next product here is the Merit Tinted Shade Slick in the shade Mapleton, which is this really pretty darker red color, but it is pH changing, and so when you put it on the lips, it actually turns out a little bit more of a brighter pink, and I think all of the jelly versions are pH changing. So I honestly didn't use this as much this past month. I was really focusing on the other lip products that I have in my Project Pan right now, but I do like it. I do think it's a good product. I really like how comfortable it is because it is so thin and lightweight with still having a little bit of moisture feeling to my lips. So I do like this, and I will probably be focusing on this a little bit more these next couple of months. The next product I have here is the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner, and this isn't my favorite lip liner. It is actually really creamy, which was why I put this in my Project Pan, because I thought I would use it up quicker. It blends away almost immediately. I do really like this color. It's not written on the label anywhere, but I will put it in the description box for you guys. I do like it. I feel like I've used it quite a decent amount since putting this in my Project Pan, and I'm gonna continue to try to use it. I still think this is gonna take me quite a while to actually finish up, but it is there. There's progress. The next product I have here is the Merit Bronze Balm in the shade Sen. And when I put this in here, it wasn't my absolute favorite product. I liked it, but I didn't think that the color was a great shade match for me because it was slightly more warm leaning. But I don't know what changed or if my preferences have just changed, but I love this color on me, and I love how easy it is to apply. And I usually just put it on a brush, use a brush to dip in there and apply it everywhere, and I feel like it just leaves the most natural bronze. It's so subtle and lightweight, but still provides that bronzy color that I really like, and I feel like it just looks so good. I notice it most around my forehead, but I just really like the way it blends, and it is so seamless. And I'm really a fan of this. I really like the color, and I've been using this nonstop since putting it in my Project Pan, and I'm excited to use it. I just think the product is really good, and I'm really glad that I fell in love with this again. So I'm super happy about that. I'm excited to keep working on this. I still think it's going to take me a really long time to finish it up because this was very lightly used when I put this in my Project Pan to begin with. And I've only had it in there for about a month. So depending on how much progress I can actually see, I think this would still take me a whole year to finish up. So that was all the products that I didn't finish up or meet my goal on. Now let's get into the ones that I did. The first is the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. That baby is empty, and I'm super happy about it. This did not take me long to pan at all completely. I think this took maybe around 3 months since putting it in my Project Pan. I think it's a great powder, especially if you're super oily like me and just need a cheap powder that does what you need it to. It set everything, it helps mattify my skin. I think it was really great, and I'm really glad that I had this in my collection, and I'm really glad that I finished it up because I do have a lot of powders, and this one was not getting as much love as I feel like it should be. And I'm so glad I finished it up. So I am going to replace this with a different powder in a second here. Not as visible, but also something that I finished up is the Milk Makeup blush. This is the Cooling Water Jelly Tint in the shade Chill, and my goal on this was to hit 50 uses, and I did make it to 50 uses, but in all honesty, like, the amount of visible progress I've made on this is so minimal. I actually used this 52 times since putting it in my project pan. I'm glad that I got some use out of it. I did really like this blush, especially in the summertime when it's hot. Like, the staining effect is just so nice for when you don't need to worry about it and you know it's gonna stay there, and if you're like sweating or just moving around a lot, like, you know it's gonna last. And so I did really like this, and I liked the color of this as well. I'm super happy to be done with this in my project pan and maybe rotate through some other blushes that I haven't used in a while, but I really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun wearing it, and the texture is always really fun too. Like, I'm a big fan of the formula and the texture, and all around a good product, and I'm glad that I got some good use out of it. Now, this one, maybe not technically a full empty. There's still a little bit of product down at the bottom here. However, this part came off from the part that twists, and I can't get it open anymore. Like, I can if I use a paper towel and like get all the gunk off of the side and then pull out like that without the pink part. I don't know if you can see that. So I can do that, but I'm not going to do that every time I want to wear this. And I feel like I've used this enough that I'm good to just call it quits. This has been through a lot. I've had this in my project pan for a little bit now, and I am glad that I used up so much of it. I do feel like, you know, I have a lot of lip products in my collection. I do want to make my way through more of them, and I feel like I've made my way through this one enough where I'm not super upset about just saying that this is an empty and calling it good. So I did finish this as well. I'm not necessarily going to replace this because I do already have the Merit Jelly Tinted Lip Oil in my project pan. That was supposed to be a replacement for this because I did think I lost this for a hot minute there. Long-winded way of saying I'm gonna call this an empty, and I'm pretty proud of my progress on that. And even though it's not a complete empty, I feel like I got my money's worth out of it. So I'm gonna call it quits on that. And finally, I finished up my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer with 4% niacinamide. This did not take me super long to do. I think this took me about 4 months of like continuous use, and that ends up being around like 50-60 uses depending on how much you pump and how many times I used it per month. But I thought this was a pretty good primer. I liked the way that it sat on my skin. I don't think I would repurchase yet because I do have a lot of other primers, and I think my main focus for priming right now is more oil control than like stickiness. So I don't think I'd repurchase it now, but I do think it was a good primer, and I would repurchase in the future if I wanted that grippy texture again. But I did finish it, and I'm really happy about that. And yeah, I can't believe I finished so much this month. I feel like that was a crazy amount. But I'm really proud of myself, and let's talk about the products that I'm going to be rolling into my project pan. I'm not going to be rolling in as many products as I took out, mostly because, like I said, the Merit Tinted Jelly Shade Slick is already in my project pan. I am going to pull in a couple of things though. So to replace the Milk Makeup Cooling Water Jelly Tint Blush, I am going to roll in my Patrick Ta blush in Just Enough, which is this cool tone pink color. I am not planning on using this up completely. My goal on this is, again, to use it 50 times, so I foresee that taking a couple of months, 3 to 4, hopefully. I do like this blush a lot. I like that it has the cream and the powder side. I feel like both of them work really well, and they work really well together. I am wearing this blush today, and I do like this color, but this is very much like a very fun summer color for me. So my goal is to hit 50 uses. I am already counting one use, and I want to see how much progress I can actually get with this in the 50 uses, because the product, like the cream itself, is pretty emollient. I do feel like I would be able to finish that relatively soon, like sooner than the powder for sure, but I do think the product is really pretty. I like that it has the complementary cream and powder, and since it's in the same compact, the likelihood of me wearing the cream and the powder together is pretty high. So I just feel like it's a good way to kill two birds with one stone, to have this blush in my project pan and just try to use it up as much as I can in the next couple of months. And by as much as I can, I mean at least 50 times. To replace the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder, I am going to pull in another powder. This one is from e.l.f. This is the Prime and Stay Finishing Powder in the shade Light Medium, and this is also a very small powder. I don't foresee this taking a ton of time to finish up either. This is also relatively loosely pressed, so there's a little bit of kick up. I have had this for a while. This is also a very cheap powder, I think around like $3 or $4. And you know, I just have so many powders. I'm trying to take the easy wins as quick as I can and just try and use up the ones that I think I can use up really quickly. And so that's what this is. I do think it's a really good powder. I think it's a really good under eye powder specifically, but I do use this all over the face. I've heard that it's a dupe for the Pat McGrath powder, the under eye powder specifically. I have never had the Pat McGrath under eye powder, so I can't confirm or deny, but this is like $4 compared to the Pat McGrath like 36, I want to say. It's a good powder nonetheless, even if it's not a dupe, and I feel like I'm gonna get some really good use out of this. I do expect the packaging to break completely in the next couple of months while I have this in my project pan, but I do think it's a really good product. I'm really happy that I have this in my project pan. Yeah, I'm excited to see how much progress I can make in the next month with it. Instead of pulling in another primer to replace the e.l.f. Power Grip, I'm actually going to pull in a perfume. This is a little rollerball perfume that I've had for a while now. This is the Gucci Guilty Eau de Toilette, and this is just a perfume that I've been working on for a little bit now, not rigorously or anything, but I do have this in my travel bag to use for most occasions, and I just think I'm pretty close to being done with it. I'm about halfway through it, and I feel like I might as well just try and like actually use it up completely. So that is the plan. I don't know how long this will take me. Honestly, most days I forget to wear perfume or like put on perfume, so it might take me a little bit longer than I think. I do like the way it smells. I do like the ease of application of the rollerball. Yeah, I'm excited to see how much progress I can make with this too. Hopefully this won't take me super long and I'll be able to roll this out in a couple of months as well. And that is everything. That is everything that I have in my project pan and all of my updates. I hope you guys enjoyed this video for the e.l.f. and the Essence All About Matte. If you guys watched my empties video, you guys will already know that I counted this towards my empties for the last 6 months because I was so close to being done with them, and by the time I filmed that video, this was pretty much done already. So these are just going straight into the garbage, but I do have a brand new empty for my December empties video. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope I didn't sound too rough. I feel a little bit rough, to be honest, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.